Intertops and BetOnline are proud sponsors of this year's March Madness coverage at sportsbookreview.com.
Let's start in the East bracket here. Obviously, Villanova being the top seed, Purdue is the 2 seed. Lining up maybe as a Sweet 16 or maybe that elite matchup. Jeff, we'll start with you first. Who would you like to see match up late that you think would be an intriguing matchup here in the East?
I think Wichita Villanova would be kind of an interesting game. If we can get to it, it'd obviously be in the Sweet 16, I guess it would be.
Yes.
I think that's pretty intriguing. Obviously, I think Wichita State has the ability to get to the Final Four. I think they're really strong, really every way you look at the ball. Their guards are really good. They can match up probably better even than Villanova in the front court. I think that's kind of an interesting game. I'm not in love with this region. Not a ton of stuff you really like here. I think it's Villanova. I think it's Wichita State.
Ian, talk about the East here. What would you like to see in that? Or maybe somebody coming out of the East, like an Arkansas surprise, a Florida surprise? Or are we going to look at chalk here? Give us a matchup that you're looking forward to in the East bracket.
I think it's Villanova's all the way, this East bracket. I think they're going to have a good run through it. I don't think it sets up terribly for them. If they play that Villanova-Wichita is a good matchup on paper, but Wichita State's defensive acumen and acuity on that end of the court just hasn't been there consistently enough for them to trust them. A team that could potentially sneak up and maybe make a run is, again, Texas Tech. I think that team in the Big 12 is got a deeper rotation, very well coached under Chris Beard. I guess if there's a team that could be able to make a little surprise run there, it could be Texas Tech.
Let's move it down to the Midwest. We'll start with you again, big man. One of the matchups I'd like to see, obviously, is the Duke-Rhode Island, because I think Rhode Island can get into Duke and be physical with them. Talk about some matchups in the Midwest that you would like to see down the line.
I'll tell you what. I mean, I think maybe even in the first weekend, I don't think Seton Hall can't beat Kansas. I mean, Seton Hall is a good guards. Delgado's an absolute freak. I think Kansas's future really relies on if Azubuike comes back. If Azubuike comes back, I think they can win the whole thing. If Azubuike doesn't come back, I don't know how far this team can go. I think Delgado is a really good player. I think Shinogo is really solid as well. If Azubuike doesn't come back, I think Seton Hall will beat Kansas on, what would it be, Saturday or Sunday, whenever that is. Look for Seton Hall to maybe make some noise.
Ian, let's talk Midwest basketball. What matchups can we look at or that you're looking forward to matching up with?
Yeah, Midwest is an interesting bracket here. It's not a bad thought with Seton Hall. I think the Seton Hall or NC State winner could actually, be a threat to Kansas in that particular part of that bracket. The one thing about Seton Hall I want to point out, though, if I'm Kevin Willard, I'm somehow drilling into my players. Let us go in practice this week. Let's work on our free throws, please, because that is the one thing that always scares me about Seton Hall. Tough, physical, good defensively, can rebound. They've got some guys that can hit shots for them, but free throw shooting's an eyesore for this team. It's got to get better going into this tournament. But for me, Seton Hall, NC State, that's the one that really stands out like a sore thumb. Even Bucknell could give Michigan State a real trouble in that very first game. And if they win that first game, that could fuel confidence there. So Bucknell, even an outlandish one to some, won't be to me.
Jeff, you're going to get some titanic possible matchups here in the South. Looking at Virginia matching up maybe with a Kentucky or an Arizona or a Davidson should be a lot of fun. Talk about the South and what we can anticipate or what you would see down the line here.
Yeah, I think it's really hard for Virginia to get to the Final Four. I think their road there is going to be difficult. I mean, you're going to have to get by, Kentucky. You're going to have to get by to Arizona. Cincinnati. This is a tough bracket for Virginia. I just will continue to go back to the whole thing of I don't see a scorer on this team, a guy that could take a game over and will them to win. I think a team like Kentucky would give them problems. I think Arizona would absolutely eat them alive. Virginia has really cooled off to me. As far as the matchup I'd like to see, I'd like to see, Arizona, Kentucky. Actually, we probably see that fairly early, actually. First weekend, Arizona, Kentucky, Donnie. How about that?
Yes.
In a first weekend matchup, it would really surprise you. If Virginia gets to the Final Four in this region, I wasn't real sure because this is a tough region for them to get through. I don't see it.
Ian, let's head to you here in the South. Let's just say it stays chalk and you get Virginia versus Cincinnati matching up in the Elite Eight. Setting the over-under at 88.5 wouldn't be out of the realm for me. Talk about some matchups you want to see in the South here.
Yeah, in the South, I mean, everybody. How about Arizona, Kentucky being a round of 32
Awesome.
game? How insane is that? I mean, that's how good this bracket is. If Virginia, Arizona, or Kentucky down the line to go to, I'm going to go to one that would really interest me, and I think it at least has a puncher's chance of happening. Cincinnati and Nevada. Talk about a great clash here. You've got this Nevada team that can flat out score the basketball, flat out shoot it from anywhere. Great, well-coached team, but they're going up against one of the best defenses they would be in the nation in Cincinnati. Nevada, Cincinnati. No one's going to talk about that game, but that one is one that I would be absolutely loving to see. It would be a great clash of styles matchup.
Moving down to the West, Jeff, maybe one of the bracket to me. I mean, it does have some good matchups, but not like the South, the East, or the Midwest, a little bit lower. Xavier's going to get the top seed in. North Carolina, the 2 seed. What are you looking forward to? And I know, Jeff, you have a very fondness for Gonzaga here. Maybe Gonzaga can make a run. What can we look forward to in this bracket?
Yeah, I think Xavier-Gonzaga would be a fun matchup, man. Really, really good one in the Sweet 16. Listen, I don't like the matchup for Michigan. I think Montana's a tough team. Montana's well coached. Ahmad Rory's really good. And this little break here in the action, I think, is going to bother Michigan a little bit. You do have to go out to Boise, I believe, if I'm correct. I don't particularly – it is Boise, right, Michigan? They go to Boise?
I don't have the places up here.
Yeah, I'm going to take a look at that. I believe they do go to Boise, which is – I think that's a really tough matchup. I mean, I don't know if not many people might know this, but Montana's not very far from Boise. It's not too far. It should be a decent opportunity for them. But yeah, as far as this one, Xavier and Gonzaga is one that I'll take a look at. But don't sleep on Montana in that first game against Michigan. Montana's get a lot of points. Could be a live dog there.
Ian, West matchups we could talk about here. A&M, can they make a run? Michigan, can they stay hot? What are you looking forward to in this bracket?
Well, just going back to one of Big Man's points, you have to be aware of where these games are going to be played. Travel situation, how close it is to the university, how the fan turnout, what you can expect, how many fans of that team are going to be in the building, what the travel situations like. You got to be aware of those things. That's got to go into your handicap in the NCAA tournament. It's not the focal point, obviously, but it's something you do have to consider and keep in mind. I'm high on Michigan. I really am. I know Montana's not going to be a pushover. And again, Michigan off the rust, you factor 2 weeks off. That is a concern for me. I have no doubt about that. I won't be laying the points with Michigan, but beyond that, I'm looking at them as a bet on team if they can get past Montana. Yeah, Xavier and Gonzaga stands out like a sore thumb as what would be a great matchup here. North Carolina, Michigan, if Michigan gets that far, would be a fantastic matchup. 2 blue bloods there. So from that standpoint, those are the ones that really stand out, good matchups that could happen.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to our channel. Now, we've put a lot of work into producing all these free videos, so please help us out and keep all our content free for you forever by simply liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. Now, not to mention, a visit to our industry-leading website will warm the hearts of all our SBR employees, especially myself. Now, the links are over there to the left, so do check those out. Thanks for watching.